Before we take our first breaths, our major life goals are pretty much planned out for us by the culture we're born into. In Western culture, to be successful means we'll have two things. Can y'all guess what those are? Of course you can. Love and money. Now, I'm sure I don't have to quote any stats to convince you of that or get you to agree with me, but there was a study that came out a few years ago entitled Happiness Equals Love plus $75,000. The crux of this study is that love is the most central element to our well-being. And while money adds to that sense, its influence on our satisfaction levels off after we've made about $75,000 a year. Now, whether or not that's accurate,
in the DC area.
Very good. Whether or not that's accurate, most of us have been taught either directly or indirectly to collect as many coins as possible. And by coins, I mean millions, obviously. To accomplish this goal, we're sent to school, which teaches the majority of us how to become effective employees so that we can get a good job, get promotions, increase our income, and save for retirement. We spend about 20 years or so in school, then another 40 plus years working for someone else, in most cases, doing something that we have little to no passion for, to hopefully have about 15 years at the end of our lives to do what we actually enjoy and spend the money we were supposed to be saving. Are y'all saving? Don't answer that. Likewise, to accomplish the love goal, we're also sent to school to be socialized. Socialization is another way to say indirect relationship preparation, in that it teaches us that we're supposed to have great relationships, but doesn't directly teach us how to do so. We're also not supposed to have just any type of love, but long-term romantic love of the heterosexual variety. And I don't know how good your gaydar is, but I'm not accomplishing that goal in this lifetime. Okay? Yes, I'm one of the gays, as Angela said. And maybe you have a hard time believing that, but I can assure you that I love Beyonce. It's true. My name is Amari Ice, and I'm also known as the Prince of Hearts. And according to the Matchmaking Institute, I'm actually the first openly gay black man to become a certified matchmaker and relationship coach in the entire love industry. Not the sex industry. Not talking about Hugh Hefner or massages with happy endings, but the relationship love industry, which includes marriage counseling, relationship coaching, matchmaking, and programs and courses designed to help people find and keep lasting love. So when it comes to finding the love of your life, as both a coach and a matchmaker, I can either show you how or I can show you him. Now, I wasn't always a matchmaker and definitely had my own relationship struggles growing up both black and gay in America. But instead of becoming jaded or giving up on love, I decided to learn as much as possible about how to have effective relationships. So I studied communications and psychology in college. That knowledge base formed the foundation of the relationship process I created and outlined in my international best-selling book, Lasting Love at Last, The Gay Guide to Attracting the Relationship of Your Dreams. Speaking of the gays, a 2011 study by the Williams Institute out of UCLA found that about 3.5% of people, or 9 million Americans, self-identify as openly lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. And that's only the people who identify. We know way more people are closeted, yeah? So 1 out of every 25 people is openly LGBT. In other words, if you have more than 25 people in your family and you don't know which one is gay, let's play a game, okay? I want you to ask each of your family members for a quarter, and whoever's hand comes out of their pocket or purse covered in glitter, that's the one. That is the one. So we are literally everywhere, and technology has made it much easier for us to find each other. So the question becomes, if so many people are openly gay, and it's so easy for us to find each other, why are so many gay people still single, and why aren't their relationships lasting? Now, I'm sure my single heterosexual counterparts are asking the same question, right? And whether you're gay, straight, or otherwise, there's actually a really huge reason why your relationships aren't lasting. And for the most part, it is not your fault. To illustrate why I say that, I'm going to ask you a series of career-related questions, and I want you to stand up if any of these apply to you. So whether you're here in the audience or watching from home, you can participate in this, okay? Stand up or raise your hand if you have ever joined a professional mastermind group. Okay? Remain standing. Stand up and remain standing if you've ever hired a career coach or gotten a mentor. How many of us have ever invested in an educational program like college or trade school or a training course related to our professional development? See, I remember I told you I love Beyonce before, right? If you're still sitting down and none of those apply to you, I want you to say Beyonce. Okay? If you can't hear that at home, no one said Beyonce. Everyone in this room has invested in their careers. Thank you. You may all have a seat. So now I'm going to ask you a series of relationship-related questions. Same rules apply. Stand up and remain standing or raise your hand if this applies to you. How many of us have ever joined a relationship mastermind group? How many of us have ever hired a relationship coach? Not a counselor, but a relationship coach. How many of us have ever invested in an educational program or a training course related to your relationship development? If you're still sitting down, say Beyonce. I think y'all can hear that at home. So thanks, have a seat. To the 4 people in the room who stood up. Okay? Isn't that interesting? Literally all of us have invested in our careers, but almost none of us have invested in our relationships. Now, if I would have asked you, what's more important, love or money? Your spouse or your job? The relationship with your soulmate or your career? I'm sure most of us would have said, hands down, the relationship with the love of my life is clearly more important than my career. And yet, our actions show the exact opposite. Why do you think that is? Great question. Great question. I'll tell you why. It's because school taught us what to do. Okay? We learn what to do from school. Remember, there are 2 things I said school teaches us: how to become effective employees and that we're supposed to be in relationships. School does a fantastic job of ingraining in us the employee mindset. As evidence of that, the current unemployment rate is 4.4%, meaning 96 out of every 100 people you meet have a job. They might not necessarily be able to pay their bills next month, but they have a job, okay? School doesn't teach us how to have an effective relationship mindset, as 45% of American adults are currently single, according to U.S. Census data. That's nearly 1 in 2 people. The relationship mindset doesn't exist for the most part, okay? But the employee mindset ingrains in us the belief that we're supposed to invest in our professional development in order to be successful before we even get our first job. You've invested and continue to invest countless time, dollars into acquiring the knowledge and skills necessary to secure your financial future. But we haven't invested with the same vigor in securing our relationship future. How can we expect a return on an investment that we have not made? You can't. Relationships are supposed to be this magical experience that randomly finds us, and we're supposed to figure out how to make it work once it arrives, through osmosis, right? But if something goes wrong, we either give up, break up, or get the services of a relationship counselor. In other words, we're taught to be proactive in our careers, but reactive in our relationships. And that very reason is why your career will be better than your relationship if you're able to keep one going. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to stay that way. The clear answer, the clear solution to this problem is to invest in developing a relationship mindset, right? That's all you have to do. To adopt the beliefs, the mindset of someone who already has the type of relationship that you desire. It's just like becoming a millionaire. I'm sure you've heard stories of people who win the lottery and then within a very short amount of time, they lose everything and they're worse off than they were before. Yeah? You've also heard stories of people who were millionaires or billionaires and lost it all, and within like a month or two, they were back to being millionaires and billionaires. Yeah? This is because you have to have the mindset before you get the millions. Okay? You don't get the millions and then generate the mindset. It's the mindset that generates the millions. And the same is true for love. The same exact thing. Now, in addition to helping people find the love of their lives, I also help them to create an effective relationship mindset and learn the tools necessary to successfully navigate the dating experience. My client, Lamont, is one such example. When we met about a year ago, Lamont asked me, Amari, where are all the good gays? And how do I find the one for me? I've used all the dating apps and they're all garbage. Everybody just seems interested in sex. Nobody really seems serious about a relationship. Do I have to accept that I'll just be single forever? Now, the fascinating thing about this is Lamont was quite a catch. So he was 28 when we met. He was very handsome, worked out 5 days a week, so you can only imagine the guns that he had, okay? He had a very great government job and was in the process of closing on his first house at 28. But, he said to me, what's the point of having all this success if I don't have anyone to share it with? So, he went through my Lasting Love program, followed my relationship process, and got exactly what he wanted. The process is roughly 10 weeks long, and just under 8 weeks after we started working together, he met Sherrod, a high-end chef who was 30 years old, so 2 years older than him. Exactly what he wanted. He texted me a couple weeks ago and said that he's the happiest he's ever been in his life. They're doing well and coming up on their first year of being together. He also said that 6 months after they started dating, he took Sherrod home to meet his family and they welcomed the pair with open arms. He wasn't even out to his family before this. So as you can imagine, it really warmed my little gay heart. So that's what I do. I help single gay men catch and keep the man of their dreams so that they don't grow old alone. Now, when it comes to any goal we have in life, whether a relationship goal or otherwise, there are 3 reasons why people fail at accomplishing what they desire. The first and most important we've already talked about, mindset. You cannot live a life outside of your mindset. Your mindset dictates your actions, and your actions dictate your results. The second is not having a plan. If you don't have a roadmap, how do you know if you're moving in the right direction? And the third is not having accountability, whether that's personal accountability or having a coach, a friend, or a mentor hold you accountable for implementing your actions. If you don't do the work, it's not going to work. In closing, you are not at fault because you weren't taught an effective relationship mindset. But now that you know what the problem is, if you don't take responsibility for investing in your love goals, the outcome of your relationship future is your fault. So if your relationships aren't working, get a coach, get a mentor, join a program that's going to give you the tools, that's going to give you the accountability, and help you to create the mindset that will allow you to sustain the love that you would love to have in your life. Again, my name is Amari Ice, and I'm the Prince of Hearts. And you can download a free copy of my book at lastingloveatlast.com. Love, peace, and glitter.